Hello everyone and welcome back to English Snap Lab. Today, we're analyzing a story that is legendary for its dark humor and brilliant irony. It is called Lamb to the Slaughter by the master of short stories, Roald Dahl. This is a story about a perfect crime, but more importantly for us, it is the ultimate lab for practicing past tense narration. We are going to look at how to use the past simple for quick actions and the past continuous for background descriptions. This is how you tell a story that keeps people on the edge of their seats. So, get comfortable, listen to the tone of the story, and let's see what happened on that quiet Thursday evening. The room was warm and clean. The curtains were closed, and the 2 table lamps were lit. On the sideboard behind her, 2 glasses and some ice were waiting. Mary Maloney was waiting for her husband to come home from work. Mary was 6 months pregnant. She sat quietly, sewing by the light of the lamp. She was the picture of a happy, peaceful wife. Every now and then she would glance at the clock, but she wasn't worried. She was simply enjoying the silence. She loved this time of day. She loved the way her husband, Patrick, walked through the door. She loved the way he sat in his chair. She was listening for the sound of his tires on the gravel outside. Finally, the car arrived. Patrick came in. Mary jumped up to kiss him and take his coat. "Hello, darling," she said. But Patrick didn't say much. He went straight to the sideboard and made himself a strong drink. Mary noticed that he finished it in 1 swallow. This was unusual. Usually, he sipped his drink slowly while they talked about their day. While he was pouring his second drink, Mary asked if he wanted his slippers. He said no. Then Patrick sat down. He looked at her with cold, tired eyes. "Listen," he said, "I've got something to tell you." He spoke for about 4 or 5 minutes. The story doesn't tell us his exact words, but we know the result. He was leaving her. He told her not to make a scene. He said he would give her money, but he wanted a divorce. Mary sat perfectly still. She felt like she was dreaming. She couldn't feel her feet on the floor. She couldn't feel her heart beating. Without saying a word, she stood up and walked to the kitchen. Her mind was blank. She thought, "I must make dinner. If I make dinner, everything will be okay. This is just a bad dream." She went down to the cellar and opened the big deep freeze. She reached in and grabbed the first thing her hand touched. It was a large leg of lamb, wrapped in plastic. It was frozen solid. It was as hard as a heavy piece of steel. She carried it back into the living room. Patrick was standing by the window with his back to her. "I've already told you," he said without turning around. "Don't make dinner for me. I'm going out." Mary didn't wait. She didn't hesitate. She stepped up behind him and swung the big frozen leg of lamb high in the air. She brought it down with all her strength on the back of his head. It was a heavy blow. Patrick stayed standing for a few seconds, swaying like a tree. Then he crashed onto the carpet. The noise was loud, and it woke Mary up from her trance. She looked down at the body. He was dead. Suddenly, Mary's mind became very sharp. She was a policeman's wife. She knew the law. She knew that if she went to prison, her baby would be in danger. She had to act. She had to create an alibi. An alibi is proof that you were somewhere else when a crime happened. She carried the meat into the kitchen and put it in a hot oven. Then she ran upstairs, washed her face, and fixed her hair. She practiced a bright, cheerful smile in the mirror. She practiced saying a few simple words. She went out the back door and walked to the local grocery store. "Hello, Sam," she said to the grocer. "I need some potatoes and maybe a can of peas. Patrick is tired and didn't want to go out, so I'm cooking a nice leg of lamb." She chatted with Sam for a few minutes about the weather and the dinner. She looked perfectly normal. When she left the shop, she walked home quickly. As she approached her house, she told herself, "Everything is normal. I am just coming home to give my husband his dinner." She opened the door, walked into the living room, and discovered Patrick on the floor. This time, her tears were real. She was shocked by what she saw. She ran to the phone and called the police station. "Quick," she cried. "Patrick's fallen. I think he's dead." Soon, the house was crawling with policemen. Many of them were Patrick's friends. They were doctors, detectives, and photographers. They were looking for the murder weapon. The back of the skull is smashed. It was a very heavy, blunt instrument. Look for a large piece of metal or a heavy club. They searched everywhere. They looked in the garden, they looked under the furniture, they even looked in the trash, but they found nothing. As the night grew late, the policemen became hungry and exhausted. The house was hot. Mary sat in a chair, crying softly. She said, "Please, you are all Patrick's friends. It is nearly 9 o'clock. The leg of lamb is in the oven and it is cooked perfectly. I couldn't eat a bite of it, but please don't let it go to waste. Eat it for me." The men were hungry and the meat smelled delicious. Finally, they agreed. They sat in the kitchen and ate the whole leg of lamb. Mary stayed in the living room listening to them talk through the open door. One of the detectives, with his mouth full of meat, said, "This must be a hell of a big club the murderer used." "That's right," another replied, reaching for more meat. "It's probably right here on the premises." "Personally, I think it's right under our noses. What do you think, Jack?" In the other room, Mary Maloney began to giggle. What a chilling ending. Mary Maloney was the perfect hostess, even when she was a murderer. Before you go, let's look at what we actually practiced in this long session. Past simple for sequence. We used words like swung, crashed, died, cooked, and ate. These move the story from one event to the next. Past continuous for atmosphere. We analyzed background actions like she was sewing and she was listening. This adds detail to the picture in your mind. Vocabulary of crime. You learned words like alibi, blunt instrument, premises, and investigation. Irony and tone. We practiced how to use a calm, steady voice to describe a shocking event. Thank you for being part of English Snap Lab today. This was a long session, but your ability to narrate in the past is now much stronger. Tell me in the comments, was Mary Maloney right to protect her baby, or is there no excuse for what she did? I can't wait to see your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, keep your eyes open and keep practicing. Bye for now.